Jermaine Cole has been one of the biggest names in hip-hop for almost 2 decades, creating honest, vulnerable, and timeless music by manifesting the future and reflecting on the past has made J. Cole one of my favorite rappers. And he just released his final album, The Fall Off, a sort of farewell love letter to the genre and to his fans. It cannot be understated how much anticipation there was for this album. Cole has been teasing it since 2018, and at that point, he had already been working on it for 2 years, making The Fall Off a decade in the making. Now, slowly, over time, he has been releasing songs that were supposed to be on The Fall Off, giving us a taste of what the album would be like. I know this video seems kind of strange coming from me, as I've never really talked about my music taste, but I really enjoy this album and how Cole has been moving since it dropped. Admittedly, I'm not the most knowledgeable on the genre and culture of rap and hip-hop, only really getting into the genre a few years ago, but J. Cole was the first rapper I started listening to, like actually listening to what they were saying and relating to it on a personal level, which was surprising at the time, being someone who really only listened to classic rock, blues, and R&B. I never really expected to get that kind of feeling from a rap album. It was around 2023 or so when I heard Forest Hills Drive for the first time, and from then I was hooked. But back to The Fall Off itself. How good was the album, and how does it stack up against his previous work? And what has he been up to since it dropped? Now, I've never been great at analyzing the meanings behind certain songs. I'm certainly no music critic, and I don't want my review of this album to be taken seriously in any way. I am no expert when it comes to music. So I'm just going to talk about some of my personal favorite tracks, what I liked about them, and what I think they did really well. I'll list them off here, and it's in no particular order. These are just the tracks that I liked the most. Starting off with a very old school type beat, which I really like. Very nostalgic, which ties in with the theme of the song, which is about how Cole wants to reconnect with his friends through the perspective of messages left by Cole's friends. This song tackles things like regrets and loss and the collective understanding that a lot of time has passed and it's not stopping for anyone. Safety was by far my favorite track on this album after my first listen, and in my opinion being the easiest to jam out to out of this entire album.
Yeah, dust off the old notebook where a younger Jermaine Lamar wrote hook.
Next up is The Villist, the most underrated track on this album in my opinion. He just keeps going in this one, in a good way. And I think this track sums up the album pretty well. It's very laid back and kind of simple, but it's strong enough to make you really feel something. And the title of the song, The Villist, refers to his hometown, Fayetteville, which is brought up numerous times in this album and is one of the things he centers around throughout his storytelling on this album.
I never knew a lot like this.
This is my favorite example of storytelling on this album. At first listen, it's about Cole chasing a girl throughout his entire life, from his hometown to New York to Atlanta, and about the struggles he had with this girl, thinking that she changed and left him behind, ultimately realizing it was him who changed. And the girl in this song is actually a metaphor for the rap industry and culture surrounding it, which I think is really cool. There's another track on here that I think is a great example of storytelling, and that's What If, which is from the perspective of Biggie and Tupac, which is an era of music I'm not too familiar with, so I don't think I could quite appreciate it as much as someone who grew up during that time and also with Cole. That's a song that's been talked about and praised a lot.
I'm pleased to report after many attempts I climbed out from the mouth of the gritty abyss.
Intro 39, the song that threw me off the most, quite a few times. First listen, it starts off with this mellow acoustic, like, best I can describe, like indie type sound. It's nice, but not something I expected from this album. And after a minute, as much as I hate to admit it, I skipped it. I skipped the song and I regretted it later. I think it was like my second or third listen. I was like, okay, this is pretty sick. And then it kept getting better and better and better and better. And now it's top 3 for me personally. And I think, you know, it's very similar to The Villist in the way that it perfectly sums up this album and how it varies from very chill and laid back and mellow to the most hard-hitting rap song ever. How it progresses, it starts from like this acoustic thing, starts getting heavier and heavier, and then it completely switches. It starts hyping you up, and then he starts rapping. From here on out, just some of the best bars I've ever heard from J. Cole. Some of my personal favorites, in my opinion. I'll pull them up. Now let me just read this off to you real quick. I'm pleased to report after many attempts I climbed out from the mouth of the gritty abyss, the antonym of idiot. Who witty is this? My mind frame been trained with NVIDIA chips. My rhymes are like shrine shrines for the city I miss, where in time I find beauty in the hideousness. My tongue can set fire to some, inspire the young, or put a hickey on the titty of the prettiest bitch. I'm number one, you getting the gist. It's clever, it's funny, I love it. And I might just play the song. I might get in trouble for that, but I think I'm gonna play it because that's how good this shit is. But yeah, I mean, amazing. And there are so many other songs with fucking amazing bars like that.
Plenty nights a nigga didn't eat, punk bitch. Oh, damn, it was on the street, punk.
The song goes into somebody that he used to know, somebody he fell out with, calls him a punk bitch over and over and over again, which goes pretty hard. It's one of my favorites. The way it embodies what it's like to hate somebody you once loved, it's quite an emotional track hidden behind a pretty ambitious, upbeat banger. Like I said, I'm no music critic. I could be way off the money on that one, but that's just what I personally get from the song.
I never understood the phrase "it's lonely at the top" until I scaled that mountain all the way up till it stopped.
Honorable mentions: Run a Train. The piano in this one kind of sounds like Zelda, which I like, and Future's also in it. And The Whole World is the Ville, tribute to his hometown. Another one of my favorites. Lonely at the Top, just beautiful, and another one of I think the most underrated tracks on this album. Most of these beats are just beautiful, I think. A lot of people are saying they all kind of sound the same. They're all very laid back and chill, pretty inoffensive. There's not much in this album that you would get up and dance to, you know what I mean? But that's kind of what I like about it. Each track relies heavily on messaging and lyricism to get its point across. The use of acoustic guitar and reverb makes it sound so open and comfortable, creating a sort of space for reflection and introspection. And it's able to do that in a way where it doesn't get annoying or feel pretentious. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. It's just how I feel when listening to this album. It feels nostalgic yet new and fresh. I just love it. With all that being said, it still absolutely does have some hard-hitting bangers in there, like Safety, like I mentioned, Poor Thing, 2-6, drum and bass. 2-6 was actually I think the most played track, at least on Spotify, coming from this album. And although it wasn't my personal favorite, I can definitely see why. Drum and bass also, I think probably my favorite beat on this album was drum and bass. This probably doesn't belong in honorable mentions, but I loved that. And a lot of other people seem to really love it too. It's actually on track to do, I think, like almost 300,000 physical sales, which is extremely hard to do nowadays with streaming and everything going on. And not just as a J. Cole fan, but as somebody who likes to collect music and games and just physical media. It makes me really happy seeing physical copies being sold again. And that's a trend that seems to be going up as time goes on. I know other rappers like Kendrick Lamar have also had a lot of success in this area, and I absolutely love seeing that. And that's another thing. A lot of people, for some reason, are comparing Kendrick and Cole. I totally understand that competition and being being number one and at the top is part of traditional rap culture. I understand that, but I really don't like seeing fans of these artists spend so much time arguing with each other over who's better and who sold more and this and that. I think it's really dumb. I think Cole is better at certain things. I think Kendrick is better at certain things. Sometimes I don't want to listen to Cole, and I'd much rather listen to Kendrick. Sometimes I want to listen to Cole, and I don't want to listen to Kendrick. This is all just so subjective, and I think there are a lot of people who are missing out on some really good music because they just can't get over that beef that doesn't really exist. But back to the fall off and everything surrounding it. J. Cole has been traveling around the East Coast in his old Honda Civic, selling CDs out of his trunk, calling it the trunk sale. This little adventure he's on has gone viral on the internet. There are numerous clips of him showing up to campuses and just random towns across the Southeast, and now I think he's moving into the Northeast. I don't know if it's going to be like a countrywide type thing, but either way, I think it's really cool. And I think it's much more interesting than a traditional tour, which he is doing, by the way. I know there was one video that went pretty viral of him calming down one of his crowds at one of his events.
So first, hold on. First thing we want to do, go to the most open space we can, slowly, calmly. I swear to God, I'll walk by and shake everybody's hand, but we got to be calm. Y'all got to set the tone for these people coming. They so hyped right now. I get it. Right. So if y'all can calmly, even y'all being calm right now, they walking up wondering why it's so calm. Please stay calm. This shit too crazy.
People were like comparing him to Jesus, which I think is a little far, but I think what he's been doing with The Fall Off is really cool. I think it's one of his best albums, but nothing has gotten me through life the way J. Cole's music has. And whatever Cole decides to do in the future, whether that's, you know, releasing more music or just being a producer, I will support whatever he does because I love what he's done with his music. If you're not someone who usually listens to rap and you're looking to get into the genre a little more, I highly recommend this album, as I feel like a lot of people who don't normally listen to rap would very much enjoy this album. Same goes for a lot of his work. I don't know how well this video is going to be received for numerous reasons. I know there are a lot of people who don't like Cole or this album. It's kind of popular to dislike him right now, so we'll see. But thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see ya!